हेलो एंड वेलकम टू ग्रोथify लिटरेचर। आज की टॉपिक शुरू करने से पहले मैं आप सभी को बता देना चाहती हूँ कि ये चैनल उन सभी के लिए है जो इंग्लिश लिटरेचर से जुड़े कोई भी एग्ज़ाम्स की तैयारी कर रहे हो, चाहे वो बैचलर्स ही क्यों ना हो, मास्टर्स या UGC नेट JRF की प्रिपरेशन। तो ये उन सभी के लिए है। UPSC में भी इंग्लिश लिटरेचर सब्जेक्ट रहता है ऑप्शनल में, तो आप उसके लिए भी अगर प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं तो मेरा चैनल, मेरी वीडियोस आपकी फुल हेल्प कर सकता है। अगर मेरे वीडियोस आपको अच्छा लगे तो लाइक करना और सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें, क्योंकि इससे मुझे मोटिवेशन मिलती है और वीडियोस बनाने की और आपको समझाने की। और बस इतना ही। बाकी आप सबका सपोर्ट से हम आगे बढ़ते रहेंगे। तो आज की वीडियो की शुरुआत करते हैं। वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट प्लेटो इन द प्रीवियस वीडियो। तो प्लेटो के बारे में जब हम बात कर रहे थे तो उस टाइम हम एक वर्ड देखें, मिमेसिस। व्हाट इज मिमेसिस? एक बार रिवीजन कर लेते हैं। मिमेसिस क्या था? What was Plato's attitude towards mimesis? Mimesis was the concept of imitation. किसी भी चीज़ की कॉपी करना को mimesis कहते हैं। Mimesis forms a foundational part of his aesthetic and philosophical thought. Who's Plato's? It forms a foundational part. But बात ये है कि Plato was not very positive about mimesis. He considered mimesis as something deceiving. It is not true to the soul. Mimesis and soul, when we see mimesis and soul, then mimesis is considered untrue to the soul. वो आप मेरी प्रीवियस वीडियो जब देखोगे तब आपको प्लेटो के बारे में और मिमेसिस के बारे में आपको और अच्छे से समझ में आएगा। टुडेज टॉपिक इज अबाउट एरिस्टोटल। एरिस्टोटल्स व्यू ऑफ मिमेसिस। प्लेटो के बारे में हमने पहले डिस्कस कर चुका है। आप मेरे चैनल पे जाइए, मेरे प्रीवियस वीडियोस देखिए, उसमें मैंने बहुत अच्छे से डिस्कस किया है कि व्हाट वाज प्लेटोज एटीट्यूड टुवर्ड्स mimesis. It was obviously not optimistic. It was he had a very negative viewpoint. और क्यों ऐसा था ये मैंने फुल डिस्कस किया हुआ है मेरे प्रीवियस वीडियोस पे। आज का टॉपिक है एरिस्टोटल्स व्यू ऑफ मिमेसिस। तो हमने ये तो जान लिया कि व्हाट इज मिमेसिस। मिमेसिस इज आर्ट ऑफ इमिटेशन। किसी भी चीज़ का कॉपी करना को मिमेसिस कहते हैं, इमिटेटिंग एनीथिंग। नाउ एरिस्टोटल फंडामेंटली रीडिफाइन द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ मिमेसिस। ये लाइन पढ़ के ये समझ में तो आ गया कि एरिस्टोटल हैड डिफरेंट व्यू पॉइंट देन प्लेटो व्हेन इट कम्स टू मिमेसिस, shifting its meaning and significance from Plato's critical view to more constructive, positive role in human life and art. So Aristotle's view was more constructive, was more positive when it comes to mimesis than Plato. Plato had a very critical view, very negative view for mimesis. Now, mimesis, Aristotle saw mimesis as natural and valuable human activity central to learning, emotional development, and the creation of meaning. So, mimesis, Aristotle mimesis को कैसे देखता है? As a very natural and valuable human activity. He says that copying something, imitating something is a very natural human activity. For example, आप जो भी करोगे, your child or any child will try to copy you. Okay, your child will try to copy you. Anything you do, they will try to copy you. So this is copying something, imitating something from someone is very natural and valuable human activity. When we look at the first point, mimesis as a natural human instinct. Aristotle begins his Poetics by asserting that poetics is his work. Okay? By asserting that mimesis is innate to human beings, that is, mimesis is natural to human beings. He writes, imitation is natural to man from childhood, one of his advantages over the lower animals being this, that he is the most imitative creature in the world and learns at first by imitation. So Aristotle says that human beings are the most imitative creature in the world. Okay, and learns at first by imitation. For Aristotle, mimesis is not merely copying but a way of understanding and engaging with the world. Children learn by mimicking adults, and art builds on this natural impulse. Through mimesis, artists and audiences explore actions, emotions, and universal truth about human life. Now, let me explain this. For Aristotle, mimesis was not only copying or imitating, but it was also a way of understanding and engaging with the world. Now, try to understand, when a child copies an adult, चलो कोई भी पार्ट कॉपी करना, whether it is about eating, he sees the adult eating, he sees how he eats, how he arranges his food, and then how he eats that food. So it is all about way of understanding and engaging with the world. How will the child engage with the world? How will the child understand things? Obviously by looking up to an adult. Okay, so that is what Aristotle is saying, that mimesis is very natural thing, and it is a natural behavior to human beings. It is a natural behavior of human beings to look up to someone, that is imitating someone. And it is not only about copying the way of someone, it is about understanding how the things are done. It is about understanding and engaging with the world. Now when it comes to art, the same happens. When we look for the inspiration, we look for when we look for inspiration, तो हम क्या करते हैं कि हम सोसाइटी को देखते हैं, what is happening in society, or we take inspiration from other people, from society, from nature, like Wordsworth or Keats and the romantic poets did. So we take inspiration from them, and then we explore, and then an artist explore actions, emotions, and universal truths about human life. So that is mimesis, and it is a very natural thing to do. For example, Premchand. Premchand wrote about social problems of Indian society. So how did he got that idea? Obviously by looking into a society that had problems, he tried to take all that inspiration, and he converted it into an art. It is not merely about copying, it is about understanding and engaging with the world. Okay, understood? Now, the second point, mimesis and the representation of universal truths. Unlike Plato, who argued that art presents mere illusions, Aristotle believed that art, especially tragedy, can represent universal truths. While history deals with particular facts, poetry deals with what could or should happen according to the logic of probability or necessity. In this sense, poetic mimesis is more philosophical than historical narratives because it deals with general truths about human nature and action, not just specific events. By focusing on human behavior and moral choices, mimetic art helps people understand the underlying causes and consequences of action. It allows audience to contemplate ethical dilemmas and experience moral truth in a structured and meaningful way. So now, the second point talks about how mimesis represents the universal truth, how imitating or something represents the universal truth. Now, when we see history is all about facts. There will be no emotion. There will be no understanding of the universal truth of the behavior, of the underlying behavior, the emotions, or the consequences. Okay, it is only about fact. It has a story, but it is only about facts. But when we look into an art, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, हम फिर से वही एग्जाम्पल लेने वाले हैं प्रेमचंद का. अब प्रेमचंद रोट अबाउट द societal problems, okay, that India was facing at that time. So अगर हम वो पढ़े, प्रेमचंद का आर्ट पढ़े, then we get to know about the emotions, underlying emotions, the consequences, the behavioral patterns, and the problems that were going around the society at that time. So we get to know about the general truth about human nature and action. It is not just about specific events that were happening, but the truth about human nature and action and the consequences, the behavioral choices, the moral choices. All this are we get to know all this from art and not just from the facts. Understood? So imitating or copying something also helps us understand the human behavior, the universal truths. It also represents the universal truths. Okay, understood? Now the third one, catharsis and emotional purification. Catharsis refers to emotional effect of tragedy on audience. किसी भी ट्रेजेडी का जो इफेक्ट होता है ऑडियंस पे, उसको कैथारसिस कहते हैं. Like pity and fear. Through the mimetic representation of serious and complete action that arouse pity and fear, tragedy enables the audience to experience a purification or cleansing of these emotions. This therapeutic aspect of mimesis stands in sharp contrast to Plato's view that art distorts the soul by exciting irrational passions. Now, the mimetic art contributes to psychological and emotional balance rather than undermining it. Now, if we understand this, so अगर आप कोई ट्रेजेडी पढ़ रहे हैं, ठीक है, एंड देन उस ट्रेजेडी में ऐसा कुछ दिखाया गया है कि what is the tragedy, like someone is taking, for example, the story is like someone is taking bribe and he gets arrested by the police and the tragedy happens, right? So it arouses pity and fear in the mind of viewers or readers. Okay, so readers or viewers get to understand about those emotion, pity and fear, and why is it happening, why they are feeling like this, and that this should not be done, or else the consequences will be bad. So this pity and fear is aroused in the minds of readers. So tragedy enables them to experience a purification or cleansing of these emotions. So they without even experiencing this in real, they get to experience it in real, and they can at that time, at that moment, they can purify or clean these emotions without ever getting ever getting to involve in that real experience. Are you getting me? अगर आप कोई भी ट्रेजेडी पढ़ रहे हैं, तो वो ट्रेजेडी हुआ क्यों, एंड ये आपको पता चल रहा है, ठीक है। और वो ट्रेजेडी अगर हुआ तो उसका क्या कॉन्सिक्वेंस, उसका क्या रिजल्ट रहा, ये भी आपको पता चला। तो आप बिना कोई रियल एक्सपीरियंस में जाके, आप एक रियल एक्सपीरियंस तक ही रह के आप सेम सेम इमोशंस एक्सपीरियंस कर लिए हैं, और आपको पता चल गया है कि क्या करना चाहिए और क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, और अगर ये किया जाए तो इसका क्या रिजल्ट हो सकता है। तो ये सब कुछ आपको बिना रियल एक्सपीरियंस के ही पता चल गया। सो you can purify these emotions without getting into a real experience. So this is what happens when you imitate or copy something from from the world around, and then you show catharsis, like you show the emotional effect of tragedy on the audience. So it can help in purifying the emotions. It can help in purifying the emotions without getting into the real experience. But Plato was of the view, and this view is of Aristotle, okay. Plato's view was that art distorts art distorts the emotions, distorts the logical actions, ओके। सो दिस एरिस्टोटल बिल्कुल ही ऑपोजिट सोचता है। वो सोचता है कि नहीं, आर्ट डज नॉट डिस्टॉर्ट्स द लॉजिकल एक्शन, इट हेल्प्स इन लॉजिकल थिंकिंग विदाउट एवर गेटिंग इनटू अ रियल एक्सपीरियंस। आया समझ में? अगर कुछ भी समझ में ना आ रहा हो, या किसी भी चीज़ में डाउट रह गया हो, तो आप कमेंट कीजिए, एंड आई विल गिव माय बेस्ट टू सॉल्व दैट प्रॉब्लम, ओके। Structure and purpose in tragedy. Aristotle also refines the meaning of mimesis by emphasizing structure and form in artistic creation. Tragedy, as the highest form of poetic mimesis, is not a random imitation of life, it is a carefully constructed narrative with beginning, middle, and end. The unity and coherence of a plot reveal the deeper truths and casual relationships in human life, offering insight rather than illusion. So, Plato सोचता था कि imitating something is just an illusion, okay. Imitating something is just an illusion, but for Aristotle it is not true. Aristotle thinks exactly opposite of Plato. He says that he thinks tragedy is the highest form of poetic mimesis, and it is not a random imitation of life, but it is carefully constructed as a beginning and has middle and an end part, and it is about understanding the true emotions of human behavior, okay. So this was all about Aristotle's view of on Aristotle's view of mimesis. And in if you have any problem in understanding, or there's any doubt, or anything that you didn't like my teaching style, or I should have explained you in some particular way, you can comment down, and I will look into it. I will try to solve the problems in my next video. I'm also learning how to teach you students. And thank you for watching my video. I hope you will stay tuned for my next videos, upcoming videos, and please do subscribe so that I stay motivated for my next video. Thank you so much.